If the clerk could please call the roll.
Angelique Ashby, Bobby Singh Allen, Donna Tolley,
Here.
Eric Guerra,
Here.
Garrett Gatewood. Is he here? Garrett Gatewood.
Here.
Kevin Spees,
Present.
Mai Vang, Patrick Kennedy,
Here.
Phil Cerna, Rich Desmond,
Here.
Rick Jennings,
I'm here, Madam Clerk.
Sean Loloe, Angelique Ashby.
Heather, I'm here for Supervisor Phil Cerna.
Okay, I think Angelique just came in. Angelique Ashby
Yes, here. Thank you.
Fantastic.
and Rick, Tim Schaeffer
Here.
and Karina Talamantes.
And
Here.
we're good. We're good, Mr. Schaefer here. I think if you need to address the conflict there. So
And Sue Frost is here now.
fantastic. Oh, we're all here. Very good. Great. Well, thank you, Madam Clerk. If folks could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you very much. Madam Clerk, if you don't mind reading the meeting statement.
Meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T UVerse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.net. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, September 25th at 4 p.m. on channel 14 and can also be viewed on Metro Cable 14's YouTube channel. The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available upon request no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. Please also note that participation in this teleconference via telephone rather than the Zoom app may result in your telephone number being visible to the public during the live broadcast and later telecast of this meeting.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's go on the second item on the agenda. Madam Clerk.
Item 2, public comments on matters not on the agenda. And I don't see any hands raised and I got no messages.
Great. Well, seeing no one from the public wishing to speak on matters not on the agenda, Madam Clerk, let's go ahead and move on to item number 3.
Item 3, presentations.
All right. Well, welcome, friends of the Sacramento Public Library, Miss Karen Wilson. Welcome again here. Oh, you're on mute. President Karen Wilson, you're on mute. There we go.
I was struggling for my mute there. Thanks very much for having me today. Well, the Friends of Course are excited about the grand reopening of the Orangevale Library with the community room named in honor of longtime friend Jane Wise. That's it's a great moment for the Friends in Orangevale. So thanks for that, for everyone's part in getting that going. Our biggest project underway right now is the Young Readers Fund, honoring our wonderful library director, Rivka Sass, and nurturing future young readers. So thanks so much to those of you who've already responded to our invitation to join our honorary committee for the campaign to raise funds to endow the fund. So that would be members Ashby, Frost, Guerra, Kennedy, Singh, Allen, and Vong. and Ms. Talamantes as well. Thanks you all for your positive response. I hope I've mentioned everyone. And thanks to members Ashby and Kennedy for your very generous donation so far. If your email got lost or our email to you got lost, and I've heard from a couple of people that it has, we welcome you still to join the honorary committee and help us get the word out about the Young Readers Fund and encourage people to participate in whatever way they can. It's a great cause and we like to think a great way to get the community together behind something positive. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Karen. And thank you to all those who participated, and also for those who haven't, there's still an opportunity. So appreciate that. Okay, Madam Clerk, we have our second presentation.
And it's Matt Hill and Ellen Worthy.
And I just want to mention that in these days of COVID, libraries have always been that resource that helps connect people with technology. But we've added so many things, and we have our two superstar guys here, Alan and Matt, to share some information about things that you may not even know we have. So they'll just take a few minutes of your time, because I think this is so important right now as we hopefully get back to normal. Take it away, Matt.
All right, good
Thanks,
afternoon,
Rivka.
Matt.
Hello. Thanks, Eric. And thanks, Rivka, for the introduction and for the time. So I'm going to share my screen here. I've got a presentation. See if I can get this right. I can never get a PowerPoint presentation right. Does everyone see that big? Perfect. All right. So just introduce myself real quick. I'm Matt Hill. I've been with the library for about 8 or 9 years. Been working with e-resources for 6+ of those. And so we have a lot of online resources. Just some quick fun facts about those. We have over 60 online resources, and that includes, going to jump to my third PowerPoint, a pretty diverse collection. We have research tools, ebooks and e-audiobooks, financial literacy, product research like consumer reports. We have auto repair manuals online. We have a pretty robust LGBTQ collection that we just added, learning to play instruments, products for beginning readers and early readers, streaming music concerts, live music concerts that have been recorded over the last 40 years, available to our patrons, and streaming TV and movies. So we cover a lot of different subject areas on our online resources. So just for fiscal year 2021, we had 360,000 sessions. That means someone logged into a resource and used it. And based on the cost of all of the resources combined, that averages out to about $1 a session. And personally, I set the success rate of an online resource at about $2. So that's great. So anytime a patron logs in, it's basically, it's $1. So that it's a really good usage and really good interaction with our community. For our ebooks and audiobooks, we use Overdrive and Libby. That's Overdrive is the company, Libby is the main app that our patrons use. And in 2020, the calendar year, we had 2.7 million ebooks and e-audiobooks checked out. Part of that has to do with, COVID and the closing the libraries. We still gave access to our patrons for ebooks and e-audiobooks, and they could continue reading. This year, so far this year, we're at 2.2 million checkouts. So we're on par to actually hit probably about 3.3 to 3.6 million. And that puts us actually in the top 10 most searching libraries in the world, because Overdrive is a worldwide company. I think it actually puts us right around number 6. And like I was talking about with Libby, they are an amazing company to work with. They put customers first. They put our patrons first. They have a great service that we were actually a beta in. The first library to add this was instant digital cards. And what that means is if our patrons or the community don't have a library card with us yet, they can type in their phone number in the app, and it'll give them instant access to our entire collection of ebooks and e-audiobooks for a year. And once they get towards the end of the year, it pops up a message and asks them to come into one of our 28 locations and get a full access card and be able to enjoy all of our services, physical and digital. We have some great partnerships with school districts that they have their own app called Sora. It's Libby, but for schools. And we have a partnership with Leroy Green Academy, Westlake Charter, Center High School, Roble Elementary, and all of Sac City Unified. And that provides access to our collection of Overdrive materials through their app, and it filters to only age-appropriate material. So that's a great community partnership. We also just added magazines. Our original magazine subscription service had about 100 magazine titles in it. This new subscription provided us 3,600 different titles in 20 different languages. English, Spanish, French, German, Chinese, Russian, etc. And it's like top level magazine titles like The Economist, New Yorker, National Geographic, Us Weekly. And Overdrive has also ventured into the database research world. So they have Craftsy now, which is it's a resource for accessing craft materials and activities and videos and learning how to sew and knit and do artsy, craftsy stuff. Quello Concerts is that one I referred to earlier. It's actually a consumer product that if you were to go to their website, you could subscribe monthly. And this is free to our patrons with library cards. You can go in, you can check it out, and you can stream concerts. So almost every Friday night, I go on to Quello and I throw a concert up on the TV and we watch it while cooking dinner. So it's a really cool resource. We also have great courses, video and audio, educational courses. And then we have another one that's not on the screen, but it's called Artist Works, where you can learn an instrument or how to sing, how to do DJ work, all from world-renowned artists. And just some quick database highlights. Hoopla, it's sort of like Overdrive. It has ebooks, e-audiobooks, streaming music, TV shows, streaming movies. All the music albums are same day as street release. So if you were to go into the store to buy the album, you could stream it same day on Hoopla. And that purchase, going with Hoopla and Overdrive together, created a really robust collection that crosses more publishers than just having the one partnership with Overdrive. Sacramento BE edition. This is the full historic archive and the daily e-edition of the paper. The daily paper is the most popular resource we have with Sacramento Public Library, or e-resource. It's 3 cents per use. That's how many checkouts we get of this resource per day in a year. And we have a full historic digital archive, which is completely searchable, which I'm proud to say we're one of few libraries that has a complete collection in digital format of their local paper. And for lifelong learners, we have Gale courses, which is kind of like a 6-week online college course. You actually have a real instructor. You complete lessons and papers and forums, posts, and you get a little certificate at the end that says you completed this course. So that's good resume fodder. We also have LinkedIn Learning. That's on-demand trainings and office products, Adobe, photography, coding, and over 120 other subject areas. We have world language learning. Over 164 different languages can be learned with us through 3 different platforms. We have ESL learning in 60 different languages. And those platforms also include citizenship prep for those new arrivals in both Spanish and English. And then financial literacy, we recently added Weiss Financials, big product name there. It includes stock market information, how to manage debt, renting and buying a home, retirement planning. There's a great Medigap tool on there for learning how to navigate Medicare. It's a really complicated system, and that's all free to our patrons. Just a few more, and I'm only touching on maybe a third of the 60 that we have. So these are some great ones here. Is Consumer Reports. This is the full online website that you would access if you paid a monthly subscription to. Again, free to our patrons. Job Now and Vet Now, that gives assistance to our out of work and our vets. You can get live support, connect with a live resume builder, someone who can do some interview training with you. They can work with you on your resume. Ancestry.com, yet another one of those pay subscription services that we provide for free. New York Times, that was provided by the state library, but we're proud to provide that to Sacramento County as well. And that gives you full access to the New York Times Daily and the entire website. Novelist is great for book recommendations. So if you love a certain author or a certain series, you can type that in on there and it'll give you series read-alikes or author read-alikes. So if you're a big Stephen King fan, you can type in his name and you'll pop up with other authors that you might like to read. And iVox, that's another new addition for us. It's a really great mobile app you can install on your phone or iPad. And it's a picture book that actually pops up, becomes 3D, and it's interactive, and it reads it to you. And it gives those young readers something to kind of that tactile learning while they're being read to. And the last one, our student research tools. We have a really robust collection of tools for our kindergarten through community college level learners. We have a Gale research package that covers over 20 different databases covering history, science, human anatomy, biographies, world issues, modern law. A great one in there called Opposing Viewpoints. It gives you the pros and cons of different subjects around the world. And then we have different research centers. So a young researcher can enter the younger version one, K through 5, and kind of learn how to research. And then if you need the more robust, if you're in middle school, you can get to the 6 through 8 level one. And then if you're a more advanced researcher, maybe a high school student or a college student, you can use that 9 through 12th grade research center. And it kind of pulls all the different topic areas together. It's easy to do searches. We also have a great collection of scholastic research tools. Those are geared to the K through 5 level. They're a lot more picture based. They also have a lot of one-to-one ebooks of our scholastic nonfiction materials that we have on the shelves in the branches. And one of my favorite ones to pitch is Homework Help Now. You can connect to a live tutor for K through college level subject areas. So English, math, science, history, social studies, writing. Let's say you're a 5th or a 6th grader working in algebra and you just don't understand a question. You can hop on there, connect to a live tutor. You can draw in like a digital whiteboard the problem and they'll work you through it until you have it figured out. There's a writing lab in there. You can upload your paper and someone will review it, edit, and send it back to you. And within 24 hours, you can fix the mistakes, you can change the edits and send it back again and have it proofread as many times as you want until it's perfect and you can turn it into your teachers. And that's it for me. I'm going to hand it off to Alan Worthy unless anyone has any questions about any of the online resources.
Okay, thanks, Matt. I'm Alan Worthy, and I've been with the library for 13 years now. Seems like just yesterday I showed up, but I want to talk about the actual in-branch stuff that we do to help bridge that digital divide. And I think of us as like one of the first steps in bridging that digital divide with our connectivity in library branches. We have gigabit connectivity in 27 of 28 locations. We're very proud of that fact that you'll never see a loading internet slow in a library. And that always hasn't been the case. So we've worked really hard with the IT staff to provide the best connectivity we can. We have that 10 gigabit connectivity to the internet, so there's no downtime. And we have over 110 wireless access points that people use throughout the 27 branches. And at times we've actually seen up to like 900 users on those wireless access points. So it's a pretty robust access that we provide in the branch in terms of connectivity. Next slide, Matt. And then as far as access in the branches, we have over 800 public access computers, everything from desktops to notebooks to Chromebooks to tablets to lots of other things. Patrons use these for everything from finding jobs, using the databases like Homework Help, applying for benefits. And new arrivals can do lots of great things on them, including checking those football scores from the home country. That's what I like to do. So, and a lot more. So I bet, Matt, that I could get a soccer reference into this presentation. So, we have 160 catalog computers that use all those databases that Matt talked about. Last year we had over 38,000 computer reservations, slightly down due to the pandemic, but we're still seeing good usage. We provide printing in all of the locations, and we printed over 275,000 pages last year. And those are everything from resumes to benefit applications to the occasional goulash recipe that you want to print and take home. So a little bit of everything. Next one. Yeah. Some new things that we were rolling out and rolled out this past year. One of the things that we tried during the pandemic was to deliver mobile printing services where patrons can print from home or outside the office, and then they can come to the library and pick up those print jobs, either in person or during when the libraries were closed. We actually provided that as a curbside service. Really popular, works really well. And again, that's everything gets printed there from those homework assignments to those recipes again. So we also delivered 7 branches have these new self-checkout patron, there's no staff interaction of tablet stations. And these are preloaded Android tablets that require you just scan your library card and you pull the tablet and you get it for the checkout period for in-library use. Really cool service. It knows the level of patron you are. If you're a child, you get delivered a child preloaded experience. If you're an adult, you get an adult preloaded experience. We're very happy with those, and it's probably one of the most exciting things we've done this year. So we're pushing out a lot of mobile hotspots for take-home checkout. Last year, our partners over at the city of Sacramento provided us with a bunch of hotspots that we pushed out, and that was really successful. And coming soon, we're gonna push out hundreds more that we've acquired through a couple of grants through the state library and from the new Emergency Connectivity Fund. So we're excited about getting those out and available to help that, again, bridge that digital divide. And then also we're gonna start offering Chromebooks for checkout. And I think we have about 500 that we're gonna look to push out fairly soon. And again, those are also funded by grants from the state library and Emergency Connectivity Fund. And if you have any questions, that's all I got.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Just never ceases to amaze me the endless amount of services that there are here for the library. First, let me see, Madam Clerk, do we have any members from the public wishing to speak on this item?
No, we do not.
Great, thank you. Let me take it back to the board here. This is just a presentation for our edification. And yes, Garrett Gatewood, Vice Chair.
Awesome. Excellent. Hey guys, great work. First off, being an IT guy, that is some amazing heavy lifting. I know how hard it is to retrofit and pull across the system, especially in the middle of COVID and needed services. And I had no idea that we are offering free printing. So the fact that we're the now discount Kinko's is amazing to me. So I will now be using that for all my projects going forward. But that is an amazing offering. And I think we need to blow that one up because I think more and more people know about that, the better. So that's it. Great job, guys.
Well, thank you. Alan, thank you very much for that. I think it's a great resource, particularly for those who are trying to put together things for whatever their family records or on the job hunt. Great resource here. Other questions from the board? If not, one request that I did ask our clerk is that if we could send this information in an easy way that can be distributed so that as part of our newsletters, as part of our social media outlets that we do at our local cities and even on our own offices, that we can easily disseminate this information out. I know we can find a good chunk of it by going on it, but I think if there was a nice little toolkit for the board, this would be helpful. Great. Let's, well, Madam Clerk, we'll move on to our next item on the agenda.
Item 4, executive team report.
Thank you. I want to point out a few things to the board. I'll start with start marking your calendars now for 2024 when the retrofit of the Elk Grove Library is completed. We're beginning the conversations with the architect now. There will be some community meetings coming up. Mayor Singh Allen and Councilmember Spies will get that information to you so that we can get the community involved with what they would like to see with the library. And as it gets closer, we'll make sure that you all know to plan for a pretty cool event, we hope. Want to mention a couple of other things. As you know, COVID has impacted everything from participation in summer reading. We want kids to keep reading. Those numbers are climbing back up. Some of you were involved with the Summer Explorers program, whether it was Council Member or Chair Guerra and Director Vang helping find locations. I know Directors Laloe, Vang, and Cerna attended the events. There were more than 400 people who came out to parks throughout the area to learn, for families to experience what the library can offer even remotely. We saw a lot of new arrivals. And speaking of new arrivals, we'll be participating in the International Rescue Committee meetings that are occurring about how we welcome our new Afghan neighbors, what the library can offer. As Matt pointed out in his presentation, we have a lot of resources that will help people strengthen their English skills or learn English altogether. We have people who speak languages that we think will be helpful to new arrivals, and the library is here to help with that. I want to mention also that we had a very successful summer leadership program with 39 teens who participated in a 6-week program that was grant funded. At the end of it, if they made it to all the sessions, they earned a $300 stipend that was part of a grant from the California State Library. So we were very pleased about that. So I want to also mention that was all the upside to libraries serving the entire community. You'll see in the written report that we've been having some issues in several of our libraries, but a particular pain point right now is our Sylvan Oaks Library. Staff have been meeting with the police, with the Parks Department. We've met with the county facilities, but the number of incidents in that library have just grown exponentially since we began meeting with one of the advocates from the community who assures us he's trying to reduce the number of incidents when in fact they've more than doubled. And it's becoming frightening in the sense that we had a staff person, and very concerning, a staff person was knocked down last week. Jared climbed on the roof to check something else out, found a hatchet. There's a lot of cleanup that has to be done at this particular library. And we did Karen Leland, who's our security manager, did an analysis. It's costing us about $5,000 to $7,000 a month extra in security and cleanup at that library. And we're hoping that this is going to be that there's still a correction to come with understanding of what the Boise decision actually means. I called the city of Boise, talked with one of the attorneys because we seem to have a different perspective about it. And he was very clear about actions that we can take to keep our entire community safe. It's my job as library director to give you the good news and the bad news. And it's my job as library director to do everything we can to keep our staff safe. They work with the public every day. And we don't want to put them in harm's way. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jared for a minute, because sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. And Jared has some additional information specifically about Sylvan Oaks. And again, it's not the only location right now. It's just a pain point for us.
Thank you, Rivka. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, so I want to just share a few more of some details about the challenges that we're having at Sylvan, and there are many. As Rivka noted, our incidents have really climbed through the roof. As you can see, Sylvan, as of last week, is at over 122 incidents. If you look at the system, it's basically 3 times the amount. Like Rivka said, we do have challenges across the system, but right now Sylvan is our hotbed. There are real costs to these incidents, between $5,000 to $7,000 a month, but these are real costs, and these are costs that right now that we're incurring at more than just Sylvan, but locations across the system. So now I want to give you a glimpse of some of the nightly activity that's occurring there. So this is a typical evening at Sylvan Oaks. So we have many people gathering for lots of different purposes. In this case here, somebody was having a barbecue and excessive litter and loitering going on. And then there's other types of activities that might be going on as well, which are really creating complications for us. There's also the issue of obstructing access. So these pictures here were taken at 5 in the morning for a video surveillance system. There's a lot of different things that go on early in the morning, almost up to the moment that we open to the public, which make it very difficult for the public to access our facility, even including fights. Significant risky behavior going on. Like I said, I was on the roof the other day trying to investigate an issue, and we had people who are climbing on the roofs. They're leaving objects on the roof. In addition to, it's also a liability issue, not only for us, but for the county should somebody fall down and hurt themselves. Litter is out of control. Excessive litter every day, which our custodians spend significant amount of time cleaning up, as well as branch staff. And this is what meets us every morning. We've also had significant facility damage. Often our lights and our cameras are spray painted. And the picture on the right, the person is carrying away part of our book drop. They busted the book drop, carried away the shelf, and it took us a while to track that down and to fix it. Significant cost associated with it. This is some of the cleaner graffiti that I can show you. But the one on the left, that's been permanently etched into the building, and it really just creates many challenges for us. Probably the scariest is we have a lot of facility endangerment. Occasionally there are fires. This particular fire was near the door. As it's starting to get colder, fire danger is definitely more present. In addition, we've had other problems. The SAC-B carrier was threatened with violence. There's been sexual activity, fighting on the property, public nudity, biohazards. We've had some suspected drug activity, and we have had a broken entrance door and window. So we have met with the county to discuss security issues, as well as the possibility of fencing off the branch. But what we really need help, and we need support, because we honestly kind of feel like we're in this alone. We need help to manage the impact of the Boise decision on the library, because we're spending a lot of significant time and effort on trying to manage behaviors that are beyond our control. And in order to provide library services effectively, we need your help. We recently did an incredible refresh of this location, in which we invested over $2.5 million. And we like to think of Sylvan as really the jewel in our crown. And it's very difficult to provide services when we have all of these activities happening after hours, which are not only impacting staff, but our ability to adequately serve the public. So if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer questions you might have.
Well, this is Tim Schaeffer. I would love to get a copy of your PowerPoint, if you wouldn't mind sharing that with me.
I'll email it to you.
Yes, I am. I can't tell you how sorry I am that this is that the library is encountering things to this degree. and I have been going over myself in the morning and kind of seeing, who's, I go to the gym at 5 o'clock and I'm coming home at 6. And so I swing by there just to kind of take a look and see what's going on. And I can't tell you how much I empathize with staff there. There's absolutely no excuse or reason that someone should be going to work and facing this kind of abuse. So I certainly will take it up with several of the folks, including the police department, and have a discussion with them to see what we can do to address this. I almost feel like this has crossed the line, and I would like to see of all the facilities in Citrus Heights, there's plenty of other places that these folks can camp. They have worn out their welcome at the park and the library there. So I think I don't know what kind of legal ground I'm on, but I certainly like to have that discussion and potentially just say, hey, sorry, Crosswoods Park and Sylvan Oaks Library are off limits for.
Well, thank you, Board Member Schaefer. And what I'll ask here is if staff could follow up with Board Member Schaefer there. And I know it's near the county line, so I'm sure our corresponding county supervisor might want to be involved in that too. I want to be careful here. I know this is an executive director's report, so if council, let us know that how far we're veering off the Brown Act from an agendized item here. So, but to this point, I think if I could ask Rivka and staff and council, actually, if you could follow up with Board Member Schaefer regarding the situation.
And if I may add, we've had Council Member Schaefer has been fantastic at talking with us and putting us in touch with the right people. The police department has been really helpful and very clear about what we need to do. Everybody's trying, but it came to a head for us last week when we felt that a staff person was put in danger for just doing his job. And so we appreciate it. We will continue to follow up. We will continue to work with police, and we will continue to keep you all informed.
Great. Thank you very much, Rivka. Okay, any other questions on this item for staff here? If not, then Madam Clerk, we'll move on to the next item here.
Item 5, information.
The material is in your packets there. Any questions for Johnny or the supporting staff? Seeing none, then Madam Clerk, we'll go on to the next item.
Item 6.1, action summary. Item 6.2, patron privacy policy. Item 6.3, procedures for lost, mislaid, and abandoned items.
Great. This is our consent calendar. Let me ask for an action from the board here.
So moved.
It's been moved by our Vice Chair Gatewood. Is there a second?
Second. Totally with second.
It's been seconded by Board Member Desmond here. Let me ask Madam Clerk, are there members of the public signed up to speak on this item?
No, they are not.
Great, thank you. Let me bring it back to the board. Any questions from the board on this item? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, if you could please call the roll.
Angelique Ashby,
Yes.
Bobby Singh Allen,
Yes.
Don Natoli,
Aye.
Eric Guerra,
Aye.
Garrett Gatewood,
Aye.
Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Mai Vang,
Yes.
Patrick Kennedy, Patrick Kennedy. You may have left. Rich Desmond,
Aye.
Rick Jennings,
Yes.
Sean Loloe, Sean Farmer, Sue Frost,
Aye.
Tim Schaefer,
Aye.
Karina Talamantes,
Yes.
that's unanimous with 13 members present.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We'll go ahead and move on to our last and final action item of the day.
Item 7, item 7.1, fiscal year 21-22 final budget, position control and fee structure.
Okay, so thank you, Chair Guerra and members of the board. So we're here to discuss the final budget for fiscal year 21-22, position control and fee structures. So I'll refer you to the staff report and related exhibits for details. So this budget is mainly highlighting any changes from a May adopted budget that was approved by the board back in the month of May. So Heather or Jim, may I share the screen, please?
Yes, you should have capability.
So I'm gonna go ahead and dive right into the numbers, but feel free to ask any questions if you want more details or further explanations. Our senior budget finance analyst, Kurt Bayer, is also here to help answer any questions that.
Right. And Johnny,
so-
just as a reminder, this is the budget that we already saw and approved. It's just making the adjustments for the actual numbers.
That is correct, Chair Guerra. So this budget was approved back in May of 2021, so a couple of months ago. So again, this is mainly to update the numbers based on our closing process and the final revenues and expenditures that are coming in over the last several months from July through, actually from June through now. So as you see here, this is a 3-year flow of the budget summary by fund. So if you look at fiscal year 20, these are audited numbers from 2020 at 41.8 million in fund balances. So this is total system-wide fund balance. In the next column, these are estimated revenues for fiscal year 2021 and expenditures for fiscal year 21 as well too. So we've been working hard the last couple of months to prepare closing entries, make all the adjusted accrual for revenues and expenditures. So these numbers are almost set. We are preparing for the upcoming audit within the next couple of weeks. So there may be some slight changes, but I don't foresee any major changes to these numbers. So at the end of the day, we're anticipating fund balance to be about 48.5 million in total system-wide. And then next column is our projected revenues for fiscal year 21-22. And as Chair Guerra mentioned a minute ago, we've adopted a budget back in May. So these are just simply updates to any new revenue projections or any expenditures that we anticipate for fiscal year 22. So revenues, we'll take a look at the detail in a bit, but total revenues we're projecting to be at about $53 million combined, and expenditures at 56.2 million. Next column to your right is cash flow and economic uncertainty reserves balances. So 10.3 million for county city funds, City of Sacramento fund 2.5 million, 1 million for parcel tax X, and Measure B about almost $400,000. And our final column, these are unreserved fund balances. So at about 13.9 million for the county fund, 7 million for City of Sacramento, 3.4 million for parcel tax X, and almost $1 million for Measure B. And then we have a technology replacement fund at 1.6 million, and other smaller funds, including donations and requests at about 4.2 million. So a combined of almost 31.1 million in unreserved fund balance. And keep in mind, unreserved, it's just that we haven't pulled into economic uncertainties, but there are restrictions for donations, bequests, and so forth. So those are numbers within the 31.1 million. Any questions on the schedule?
I don't see any hands raised here.
So hearing none, I will go ahead and move on to Exhibit A3, So these are our revenue projections, and as I mentioned a minute ago, we're anticipating at about 53 million combined in total revenues. So here's our projections, so 53 million. And the only two changes that we are recommending at this point is a slight change to the county property tax contributions. And this is mainly due to the continued strong real estate market. We've checked with the county assessor, and we're comfortable at projecting at almost 29 million in county contributions. And then on the city side, the gallery, as you know, we've used that facility for cooling centers, warming center, and then other needs. There were also flood and water situations at the gallery as well too. So normally we project at about 450,000 in a normal year where we have weddings, proms, graduations and so forth. But with the COVID closures and other uses, we dropped it down to 150,000 back in May. So when the board adopted the budget, this is a really low projection that we have as well too. And then in checking with Jared and facilities and determining that the gallery is not going to be open for the public use in terms of weddings and proms and things of that nature, we like to scale it down another 50% of what we budgeted back in May. So projecting at about 75,000. And even with this amount, it's still a very optimistic budget because things are changing as we go forward from day to day. So hopefully we can start reopening and have those big events as we have in the past. So those are two changes to the revenues. Not a whole lot of changes. We're comfortable with other projections for Measure B and parcel tax X as well too. So about 53 million in total revenues. Any questions on revenues? So let's move on to expenditures. So expenditures, we are at about 56.2 million, excuse me, 56.2 million. So roughly 2 million in additional budget from a May adopted budget from 54.2 to 56.2. So the 2 million increase, 600,000 is for county fund expenditures. So this includes a $150,000 carryover for the beautiful Orangeville refresh project. So mainly the carryover is to pay additional invoices that have come through over the last couple of months after we ended June 30th. And then also there's a $5,000 in shared cost distribution. So that includes a budget carryover for the bookmobile, added positions, and the Sacramento News and Review building that the city of Sacramento had just recently acquired. And so what we like to do is pull some IT cables, infrastructure needs, including furniture to move some staffing there on a temporary basis until the city have an opportunity to put plans together, the design reviews, and plan for the tenant improvements for the North Sacramento Library branch. And then 1.3 million is for the city of Sacramento fund expenditure increase. So 450,000 of that 1.3 is for security upgrades. And this is just a carryover from fiscal year 21. So again, with the supply chain issues, shipping delays and so forth, some branches were able to get all the upgrades done, but so these are carryover from fiscal year 21 to finish up the security project. And then $500,000 is for furniture refresh at the various city library locations. So with some of the fund balances that we were able to save up and surplus from the last two fiscal years in light of COVID, issues and some things that we got from the delays. We would like to put about $500,000 in furniture refresh to take care of of furnitures, desks, tables, chairs that may have been duct taped for on a temporary basis. So facility and Jared and his team will work on that to refresh the branches. And $400,000 again, that's for a shared cost distribution from bookmobile project carryover, added positions, and the Sacramento News and Review building upgrades. So any questions on expenditures? So hearing none. So when we met with the Budget Audit Committee last week, the committee asked staff to put together a list of unfunded capital needs or building maintenance needs from both the city and the county side. So staff is working with the city's personnel and county reps to put a comprehensive list together. And our plan is to bring it back to the board sometime by the end of this calendar year for a thorough analysis and presentation to the full authority board. So just wanted to point that out and let you know that that report will be coming forward soon. And then on so moving on to position control. So this is our adopted position control back in May. And we're recommending to up the positions by 15 FTEs to a total of 314 positions. So these positions include reclassifications, 13 new added positions, and 2 grant funded positions, which are mainly temporary placeholders. We'll budget the monies when we receive grants or when we anticipate that there'll be grant funding to come in. So these are mainly temporary placeholders so that we have those positions in place for grants and position needs. So this organizational realignment is mainly to help support system-wide leadership roles, succession planning, and opportunities for career pathways. In the end, hopefully this will better meet the needs of the library and also the community needs in general. So that's mainly why these positions are being recommended. And I believe not IT, but HR is in discussion with Local 39 to keep them informed and make sure that both staff, management, and the Local 39 are on the same page with that discussion. So lastly, the fee structure. When we went to the Budget Audit Committee last week, we recommended no changes, but there's a minor change that we'd like to recommend for adoption. So and this is mainly to resume collecting fees for any damaged material in light of COVID-19 closures and the hardships and issues that our patrons were having. We went ahead and suspended fees due to COVID, but we would like to restore that fee going forward. So that's the only change in the fee structures. Everything else is still the same. And as you'll recall, we eliminated all fines back in May when the board adopted the budget. So again, really no other changes except for this minor change here on the resuming the fees for damaged material. So that includes my report. Again, this is mainly just a true up of our May budget to updating numbers and get us back to the September final budget. So
great. Well, thank you very much, Johnny. Appreciate all your work and all of the team's work to put this budget together. First, let me go over to the clerk here. Madam Clerk, do we have any members from the public signed up to speak on this item?
No, we don't.
Great, thank you. Let me bring us back to the board. Any comments or questions from the board on this? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the budget with the suggested minor change of the fee for undamaged materials.
I move that we adopt a budget.
Thank you. It's been moved by
Schaeffer.
Board Member Schaefer. Is there a second?
Second, Singh Allen.
Has been seconded by Mayor Bobby Singh Allen. Is there any further comments or discussion from the board? Seeing none, let me go ask the clerk to call the roll.
Angelique Ashby,
Yes.
Bobby Singh Allen,
Yes.
Donna Toley,
Aye.
Eric Guerra,
Aye.
Garrett Gatewood,
Aye.
Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Mai Vang,
Yes.
Patrick Kennedy, Rich Desmond,
Aye.
Rick Jennings,
Aye.
Sue Frost,
Aye.
Tim Schaeffer,
Aye.
and Karina Talamantes.
Aye.
Motion passes with 12 members present.
Great. Well, thank you very much. That concludes our action items for the day. I know we are on, we're going to lose a few folks here at 4 o'clock. So we have a couple of announcements to make before we lose folks. One is by Board Member Frost, and then second, also by our librarian here regarding our adult education graduation. So let me turn it over to Board Member Frost, and then we'll go to Rivka here.
I just wanted to invite everyone to come out to the Orangevale ribbon cutting and opening of the new Orangevale Library. And we're really excited. It's going to be quite a celebration. We're going to bring, I'm pretty sure we have a commitment from all the past supervisors that have advocated for a better library in Orangevale over decades. And so they're all going to be there because they were a part of making this happen too in their time. And so hope you'll all come out and join us on Saturday. What time? I think it's Saturday at
Noon.
Rivka?
Noon.
Yeah.
Noon. Yeah.
So if you have any extra time, I know everyone's really busy. We would love to see you there.
Great, thank you. Looking forward to those who can make it. Rivka.
And then Thursday night, you should have all received an invitation to our long delayed career online high school graduation. We're combining 2 years worth of graduates. It will be in William Land Park Amphitheater in Sacramento. It begins at 5:30. And we really hope you can stop by and say hello. Kathy, do you want to add anything? This is the best thing that you will do next week. I will say that because there is nothing like an adult receiving an accredited high school diploma and the family pride and personal pride that goes along with that.
It
Thank-
really, it really is. What if you haven't been to one, I very much encourage you to try and come by. It's next Thursday, the 30th at 5:30. We will be chasing the sun since due to COVID restrictions, we needed to have it outside, and we wanted to make sure that I believe it's 19 graduates that are walking. And the people that choose to walk in their cap and gown, they're normally very supported by their family, and it is truly a celebration. And it's only an hour long, so come on down. It'll
It's
be
quick.
Well, thank you, Kathy, and I can attest to that. Our family participated in my mother's GED high school diploma graduation when she turned 50. Great way to turn 50. Thank you, everybody. If there are no more reports, ideas, or questions from the board members, then we are adjourned at 4:02 p.m. Have a good one.
Thank you.